Hey kids, welcome back. Another Vader day. So, what we're going to do today, it's gorgeous out, a little bit later in the afternoon, and hardly any wind. It's pretty much like glass. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to tune him a little bit. I've really only got maybe 2 tanks of gas through it, so it's still, the engine, in my opinion, isn't totally set, but it's close. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to run a deck cam and stop it at every time we tune. We're also going to hat cam. I'm going to do basically 3 laps-ish. Okay, so we're going to run it the way it was set up the other day, which was fairly quick, but it was stock. And we'll run a couple laps around, then we'll bring it in, I'll stop the footage, I'll tune it, and I tune my high-speed needle in, which is the taller of the 2 needles in most cases. You have a low-speed and a high-speed needle. I'm going to tune that high-speed needle in at 5-minute increments, leaning it out. Probably not going to take a whole lot to get it tuned in, but I think it's running pretty rich. And then we'll play with the low-speed needle after that's set up and done. Also got Mr. Rescue Tug. So, without further ado, I'm going to fire this guy up, and we're going to test it. So this is going to be, I'm running on stock settings right now, so a turn and a half and a turn and a half out on each, the high-speed and low-speed needle. We'll go ahead and get the engine warmed up, we'll run it a little bit, and we'll bring her on home, and then we'll start cranking. So, I'll be right back. So that was Rev 1. Let's see what happens. Let's clock her in a little. Alright, so that was about 5 more in. Let's go ahead and crank it in there a little bit more. Right back. right, so I think for as far as far broken in as this engine is, which is not very much, I think that's as fast as we're going to get on the needle settings right now. That's my guess. So I noticed this is just a Gizmo Motors 30cc stock engine, Zenoa. It is not modified, it is not a race engine. But it is a 30cc. Like I said, this is maybe 2.5 tanks through it, if that. I noticed with these engines, even though they already say they're broke in, or they don't need breaking in, usually after about 5 tanks, you really gain a lot of momentum. So I'm going to run maybe a little bit more of this tank out, and then I'm going to do some rear camera footage on there, just so you guys can see. So right now, probably for the rest of the season, which is only a couple more weeks, this is probably the setting I'm going to keep the engine at. And we're just going to work on breaking in the engine, doing some laps, and having just a little bit of fun. So here we go. Low speed needle could be leaned out a little bit. So we're just having some fun breaking in this engine. The hull is riding really nice. I like it. It's running pretty trim. I think once I get rid of that fat ass turn fin, it's going to help a lot. All right, we're going to bring it in, gas it up, and switch that camera around. I'm also about 12.5 inches on the pipe. All right, let's swap around that camera and we'll do some more footage. All right, we rear mounted the camera on the cowl. We're going to fire this girl up, guy, whatever he is, and that'll be that. I think the hull's running really well. Could be a little drier, maybe. All right. Good job. Take that camera off before we lose it. And I'm going to go ahead and run out this tank a little bit, and I'm going to call it a day. So see you later, kids.